The thing about Chelsea is life is never boring. Hey chaps, welcome back to properchels.tv, your one-stop Chelsea news channel. I'm your host, as always, Logan Blue, and today we get to talk about the match versus Brighton. Oh my god, how nice was that? Now, honestly, there is a lot to talk about in this match, and I'm going to drill down into it in detail because I think we need to discuss the bad with the good, and there is bad. I know it's difficult to focus on the bad when there's so much good, which is kind of ironic because Chelsea for most of the last two seasons has been there's mostly bad and the odd bit of good. So it's nice to see that particular paradigm flipped. But okay, coming up to the match, everybody was talking about this being a real tester to see where Chelsea are in their development, because they see Brighton as a very good team, a very good possession-based team with a hot new German manager, like 31-year-old German manager who is trying to make his mark in the Premier League, and they spent nearly £200 million last summer on new players. So the Brighton of old, by old I mean in recent memory, which has been all about buying players cheap and then developing them and then selling them on for big profits, is or maybe a thing of the past. Certainly that's not the only way they're going to be developing players, because I think they see themselves as one of the big boys now. And I hate to break it to you, Brighton fans, but you're not. So stay in your damn lane, because I am sick to death of Brighton fans jumping up and down, talking about the rivalry with Chelsea, because we don't care about Brighton. We just don't. You're a good, well-run club down on the south coast. Okay, yeah, you've fleeced us for players, which we do not like. You fleeced us for Graham Potter, which we definitely do not like. But as far as rivalry goes, dude, you're a mid-table team. Stay in your lane. Don't try to pick a fight with the big boys, because Chelsea, despite everything, are one of the big boys. We have 2 European Champions League wins, 2 Europa wins, plus multiple other FA Cups and Premier Leagues and League Cups and UEFA Cup winner cups. What have you got? Nothing. Well, you've got a well-run club. Okay, well played. Fabulous. You have a well-run club, but you haven't won anything. And until you do, stop trying to pick a fight with Chelsea and stop trying to think that you're on the same league as in the same league as Chelsea, because you are not. Okay, there endeth the rant, kinda, right? So, as I said, I was getting a lot of grief from Brighton fans coming into this match as if it was a Chelsea Spurs match or something. No, it may be big for you, this contest, but for us, it's just another game in the calendar. Right, okay, so now to the game. Oh my God. Sanchez. I did not want to pick Sanchez. I'm assuming you, being an intelligent football fan, also did not want to pick Sanchez. And we have said many times that Sanchez is crap. Okay, and let me just splice in a clip from one of my earlier videos. Trust me, I've said this multiple times, so I had my pick of which one I wanted to splice in. But here's a quick take on my thoughts on Sanchez as a goalkeeper for Chelsea.
So Sanchez in goals, not my pick, but I have to pick him because no matter what I say, Sanchez is going to get used. It is what it is, and I think you all know my opinion on how good or how bad Sanchez is. And he's there until he loses the position, because he just has a brain fart, and lo and behold, he passes to their centre forward when it's just him and the penalty box and the goalkeeper, and lo and behold, we lose.
Okay, so he didn't cost us the win, but he might have done that had it not been for the brilliance of Cole Palmer. Because honestly, the guy is just crap. Now, let's run through the play-by-play of this match, because it's insane. It's absolutely insane, especially the first 45 minutes, which were ridiculous. Okay, so at 6 minutes, Sanchez. Okay, at 6 minutes, there's a mix-up in defense, and there's a lucky ricochet that goes up in the air around about the penalty area, and there's like a scrum of players. And what does Sanchez do? For no reason whatsoever, he bolts on out and flaps at it like blind Pew, trying to hit the ball. Doesn't come within about 2 or 3 feet of the ball, mind you. Flaps, misses, falls to the ground. Header from the defender, a very good header in difficult circumstances. Got injured temporarily. So yeah, we're 1-0 down, and that is 100% avoidable. 18 minutes in, we get a great passage of play, and Palmer comes in, so close, outside of the right foot, hits the outside of the right-hand post. Great ball from Enzo. Should have scored. That was a tough chance, but it's Palmer, so you kind of expect him to score, right? If that was Jackson, you go, yeah, well, I wasn't expecting him to score anyway, but because it's Palmer. But anyway, so he hits the post, but we have wave after wave of attack, right? So on 19 minutes, Enzo to Palmer again. This time Palmer scores. Yeah, this one is offside, and it was offside, so we chalked that off. That's okay. Then at 20 minutes, Palmer actually scores. Webster, their right back, has a absolute nightmare of a pass back to his goalkeeper. Then Jackson runs onto it. Great, brilliant. Really, Jackson's very aware. He's quick off the mark, but then he can't get the ball out from under his feet. Jackson should have scored that goal. Like if we had a Victor Osimhen or someone, we would have expected him to score that goal. But where Jackson really stands out from other strikers is that he is not the typical greedy striker. So he gets in a kerfuffle. He can't get the ball out from under his feet, but he's got the peripheral vision, right, and the wherewithal to see Palmer coming in from the right, lays it off to Palmer, and we're 1-1. Brilliant. Okay. I've got to check my notes here, because as I said, we both saw the match, right? It was a basketball game for the first half, and there are so many points. Okay, so we score. Palmer scores. It's 1-1. Okay, then that's on 20 minutes, right? So we're back. We have parity now. On 22 minutes, there's a brilliant through ball from Jackson in the middle of the field, and of course it goes to Madueke, and Madueke is greedy. And what happens is Madueke passes for once in his life, right? Even though he's greedy, and that one goes to Sancho, who scores, but it's offside. Now this one I don't think should have been offside, because if you look back, well, I mean, margins, right? The VAR margins for this were just, what is it, like a nose hair over, So that was unfortunate. I really think that one should have stood. Okay, 25 minute, we have a raking crossfield pass from Palmer, and there were a lot of those, right? So even though he scored lots of goals, we have to understand how integral he is to us playing well and us in attack. Him and Enzo are just running the ship. Okay. So 25 minutes, a raking pass from Palmer, taken down brilliantly by Sancho on the left, and it really was good, right? And then he tries to beat his man, gets a bit lucky with a little bit of a bobble, a kind of a half nutmeg that comes out. But fair play to him. So he kind of bullies through on sheer grit and determination, and bears down. Okay, then does a brilliant 1-2 with Enzo. And then Sancho is fouled on the penalty, and just inside the penalty area, and it's a penalty. Now that was all of Sancho's own making, because whereas maybe Mudryk would have just probably not even got past the defender, Sancho's he's not quick like Mudryk is quick. He's like, he's like a whip it fast. But Sancho has really good close ball control. So he kind of made his own luck by beating the defender. And then he ran at the defense and decided that there wasn't space. So he squared it to Enzo, continued his run. Enzo slips it in. Two defenders sandwich him. Stonewall penalty. Up steps Palmer, sends the keeper the wrong way. 2-0. Now, that's 25 minutes. 28 minutes, Madueke, yes, the greedy Madueke, threw on goal, but pulled back by the defender. Now, that could have on another day been a red card, but I think a yellow was fair because there was another defender coming across to cover, so I think that was a fair, right? But even though this was like 35 yards out from goal, up steps Palmer, cold and cool as you like, slots it in, top bin, right-hand corner, token, courtesy dive from the keeper, hat-trick to Palmer, and we are 3-1 up and coasting. Now, from here, Brighton obviously have to come out. They can't play with a low block. Not that they do that anyway, because that's not in their current footballing DNA. They like to play football and possession football, right? So we're streets ahead. From here, a great team of the past would have capitalized on that because we were so quick on the counter-attack, so quick on the break, right? Especially down the flanks, that every time Brighton try to push up, they have to extend themselves to overload the midfield when the midfield is in the Chelsea half of the field, leaving space at the back. So we should have picked them off at will, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7. Who knows, right? But we're not that Chelsea at the moment, right? Because we've got Sanchez in goal. 33 minutes in, okay? Sanchez, hospital pass to Casado, right? And it gets intercepted, and Sancho, boom, cost us a goal. Of course he cost us a goal. He's crap. We will not win anything with Sancho in goal. People are talking about how we don't have a striker, okay? And like a world-class striker. And I think I don't think that's being disingenuous, because I don't think Jackson is yet a world-class striker. But Jackson will get 20 goals on current form. And if we've got a striker that's getting 20 goals, brilliant. He's doing his job, right? Cut the man some slack, right? But anyway, so another brain fart from Sanchez. Lo and behold, we are 3-2 down, and they're back in the game. And they're in the ascendancy, right? And the ascendancy for them is it's all about possession, because they had more possession than us. I think we had less than 40% possession, which I did not predict. I thought it would have been like a 55, 45, 50-50 kind of deal, because we're a possession team, according to our manager. But I hate to break it to you, Enzo, we're not. Chelsea are a counter-attacking team in our DNA, and we were counter-attacking. We were counter-attacking spectacularly, okay? And we love that. Chelsea fans, and I can speak for myself, but I can probably speak for you as well. We love that sort of goal where you're in defense, you get the ball, you break, boom, 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 it's a goal, and you're like, wow, I didn't even see that coming. My God, that was like, oof. That's the sort of goals that Chelsea historically are really good at scoring. Okay, so that's 33 minutes. We go back to 3-2. Okay, 37 minutes. A fantastic ball from Palmer over the top to Madueke. And we're 3-on-2 at this stage. It is a lightning attack, another of a long string of lightning attacks. But instead of passing with literally the goalkeeper out of position, right, on the near post with him coming in, Madueke coming in, Enzo is completely unmarked, and he's closer than the penalty spot. Right, so he's got the goal to himself. All Madueke has to do is square the ball. Enzo sweeps that in with his eyes closed, and we go another goal up. But what happens is Madueke is greedy. He is greedy. I don't care what you tell me. He is greedy. He's all about Madueke. And when that works, we go, wow, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. We bow down, right? But you've got to play for the team. That's what I like about Jackson, right? And Palmer, right? And all our attackers. Sancho's another guy who, and Neto, right? We've got a whole team full of people who want to play for each other, but Madueke wants to play for himself. Anyway, he doesn't square it. He shoots. He misses. We don't score, right? Then what are we up to? What are we? 3-2. God, it's hard to keep track, even of my notes, and I have copious notes. So 40 minutes hospital pass from Brighton keeper to Enzo. So 40 minutes. Brighton keeper has a hospital pass. It's a bit disingenuous because it's not a hospital pass like Sanchez hospital pass, but it technically it doesn't go to where the player is playing it to. Enzo cuts it out, passes to Sancho. Beautiful little sort of arcing run on the shoulder from Palmer, and then Sancho feeds the ball back to him, and Palmer scores. Now he has no right to score there, none. There is literally the width of the ball and like a hair on either side of the ball between the post and the keeper. He has no right to score that, but because he's Palmer, it's in the back of the net, and he has 4 goals in the first half for the first time in Premier League history. Now, at this point, we are thinking, oh, come on, score 5. We've got a whole 45 minutes of a match to go. Now, we know that going in at halftime, both managers are going to be angry at their defense. Okay? Angry, and they were, I'm sure, angry at their defense, and they tell them to play tighter and to remember what they trained about all week, to keep it tight at the back, use the ball possession, play out from the back, and move forward that way, because both teams theoretically like to play that way. Lo and behold, we did not play that way at all. So in the second half, it was I won't say it was a damp squid, because that is unfair, but by comparison with the first half, everything's a damp squid. Okay, on 48 minutes, Palmer over the top, great work from Jackson to run the keeper, and when you do a still of this, it looks like Jackson missed an open goal. He didn't. It's just that the defender made a brilliant, interception on the line. Maybe he could have shot that half a second earlier. Yeah, maybe Victor Osimhen might have just instinctively, boom, as opposed to trying to get that extra one touch just to make it just perfect. So Jackson is unfortunately guilty of doing that a lot. He does want that extra touch or two, but he's still scoring goals. So I'm not going to dig out Jackson. But anyway, so the defender makes a fantastic clearance. 55-minute point. Jackson interception. Another hospital pass by the Brighton keeper. This is what I'm saying. This is just like a running theme with both keepers in this match because of the style of play we're playing, right? Hospital pass through to Palmer, who gets in, but it's on his weaker right side, and he never really looked confident. He's got a pretty decent right foot, to be fair, for a guy who's so obviously left-footed, and his left foot is a wand. I don't think. He was never confident, so he just kind of half-heartedly swung his right foot and missed, and then he was really angry at himself because that would have been 5, and only a handful of players have ever scored 5 goals in a Premier League match. 66 minutes, a glorious Palmer through ball to Jackson, but Jackson takes forever to shoot and it's blocked. Just harkening back to what I was just saying about Jackson, who just takes 2 or 3 touches too many. Too many touches, and he just doesn't necessarily trust himself to take that instinctive shot, which is ironically when I think he's best. Okay, and 72 minutes, the last kind of notable action was an Enzo corner, a really clever little Neto flick on, which I thought was good, and Cucurella scores, doesn't celebrate because he used to play for them, so fair play to that. However, it was offside, and before you say, but you can't be offside from a corner. No, you can't if the ball is played directly into the box. But as soon as Neto did the little flick on, you can be offside. It's a common misconception that any action from a corner is, you can't be offside because you see players standing on the line. You can't. But if there's a touch of the ball, it's a second phase of play, and lo and behold, that is then offside. And he was. I mean, Cucurella. Well, it would have been a great end to a great game for Cucurella. So, okay, 4-2, a comfortable victory. Listening to Enzo in his post-match presser, this really annoyed me, and that's probably why I'm kind of a bit head up over this particular match. And you think, well, why are you so grumpy? Why are you so angry? Why are you so passionate? Well, we've just won 4-2, and Palmer scored 4. What's up with that? Well, what's up with that is that we have a goalkeeper being picked by this manager to be our number one keeper, and he is an absolute liability. And Enzo, in his press conference after the game, said, we will concede goals because of the way we play. That's just inevitable. No, bollocks, right? That's not inevitable. If he passes the ball, the first one, when he comes out and flaps, you're telling me that's not goalkeeper 101? There's a scrum of players. You haven't got a hope in hell of getting to the ball. Oh, you'll come and give up your position on the goal line to flap at the ball, and then we have a little knock on from the attacker, and it bounces into an open net. All right, that's all on Sanchez. The second one, who passes to a guy when there's literally a guy right next to him? Pass to somebody in space. And if there's nobody in space, hoof it long. Oh my God, what is this rocket science? Oh no, we can't possibly, we couldn't possibly just hoof it long. We're not that sort of team. We're not like, Stoke. Oh, come on, grow up. Sometimes you just gotta hoof it long. I don't mean just like straight down the field, right? We got guys on either flank. Pick a guy, aim for him, go down there. At the very least, even if the pass doesn't go to him, we're out of danger. When you're picking that pass because you think, we're a team that plays out from the back, so we have to play out from the back every single time, that is bollocks. That's like playing Russian roulette. And unfortunately, in Sanchez's case, we've got a guy who's probably got like 5 bullets in the chamber to start with while playing Russian roulette, and 1 out of the 6 maybe is okay, right? He's just not a good goalkeeper. Right? He makes saves. This is where he hides his ridiculously bad form, because he makes some great saves, right? He's a big unit of a man, right? He makes some great saves. But these are saves that he's paid to make. He should make these saves. Lo and behold, he doesn't make simple saves sometimes, but he'll make worldies. And that's a great highlight reel. But in between these great saves, often from long shots, right, when he has a lot of time to set himself, okay, but he can't play out from the back like he's meant to. And I've said in the last couple of videos, like, okay, well, he's been as advertised. His distribution has been excellent. Yeah, I can't believe I got fooled by that. And that's what happens is he's just not a good goalkeeper. And Chelsea, I know we were after the AC Milan keeper, but it was too expensive. If we want to have a crack at the title, properly have a crack at the title, we need to buy a world-class number one. And if Jurgensen isn't the guy and he's our backup, that's fine. Sell Sanchez. I've had enough. Okay? It's hard enough to win a game in the Premier League without having somebody gifting 2 goals to the opposition. Who the hell does that? How can you build a team on that? Do you think the Arsenal goalkeeper does that? No. The Manchester City goalkeeper? No. They're possession-based. They like to play out from the back. Right? It's not about the style of play. It's about the keeper you have at the back of that formation. And ours is just not good enough. Not fit for purpose. Get rid of him. Bring in the other guy, Jurgensen, man. I haven't seen enough of you to know if you're world class or whatever. But we bought you. Give him a chance, Enzo. Put him in as the number one. Okay. Second thing, in relation to having a bit of a rant here, is that I want Adebayor in at the centre back on the right. Okay, we've just let in 2 goals because our defense is just not very good, and we're not dropping Cucurella. I mean, we're not dropping Gusto, and we're not dropping Levi. So we're saying to ourselves, well, we've got 3 very good defenders. Guess what? We just shipped 2 goals at home. Absolutely avoidable goals. If it was them playing through us with their brilliant play and style, like Manchester City styling, like, wow, okay, well, just hands up. Sometimes you just got to say, yeah, okay, that was a great goal. We were our shape was good. Everybody was doing their job. They were just better than us. I'm okay with losing goals like that, as much as you can be okay with losing goals. What I'm not okay is just giving away goals time and time and time again. And every time, as I said, we have like a brain lapse in defense. It's a human thing. It's not like a formational thing or a pattern of play thing. It's somebody making a mistake. We need to be better at that. And I think that when Tosin is in alongside Levi, right, in the few minutes we've seen them together, they seem like a very calm center of defense. Okay, we've got 3 very good defenders. Let's add a 4th. Okay, and look in the midfield. Enzo is absolutely starting to live up to his hype. Caicedo has been brilliant, like a force of nature, and we've got about 2 other players who can play in that position as kind of defensive midfielders now, which is great because they don't have to play every game. Okay, so in other words, we can swap Lavia in for one of them, with Caicedo maybe, or Enzo, right? What either or, right? We can put. There's about 2, maybe 3, technically 3, if you want to think about it honestly. But realistically, there's two defenders that we can swap out without really losing too much, as far as quality on the field, right? Our attackers, as I said, were brilliant. We have nothing to say. The movement, the phases of play from midfield to attack, spectacular, world class. And yet we still shipped 2 goals. So let's just do what we do brilliantly moving forward, tighten up that defense, put a real goalkeeper in at number 1, and find out that, guess what? We can score 3 or 4 goals a game. That's brilliant. But how brilliant would it be if we didn't ship goals, that we didn't have to? Like I said, if they're great, they're great. But for most of these goals that we give up, they're human error, lapses in concentration, and we need to do better. Anyway, you wouldn't know that was a fantastic 4-2 victory at home, would you? Given the passion and the level of grumpiness, but have to speak my truth. And I'm sure you probably think the same thing. We were electric going forward, and we were very dodgy in the back. And we don't need to be, right? Look at Arsenal. Arsenal are solid moving forward, solid at the back, and solid moving forward. Right? Manchester City, same again. Chelsea, oh, we're great moving forward. Look at all our attackers. Woo-hoo-hoo, we're sexy football. We need to be solid at the back. We need to have a bit of Jose, we do not lose goals. We'll always lose goals, but, we're not going to get to that season of losing just 15, under Jose 1.0. But, let's make it hard for them to score. Let's just not give them goals on a plate. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, here endeth the rant. Move on to the next game. It's brilliant. We're 4th. Looking good, guys. Okay, then. That's all the news that's fit to print, and quite a bit that isn't. As always, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And God bless. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.